Hello YouTubers, welcome to the party. There ain't no party like a Dwarf Fortress party. Well, as you all remember from last session, everybody, of course, not those of you who are new, but okay, let's just roll with it, shall we? We had an attack last time. We were raided by humans, who I think were part of a goblin civilization, but I could be very wrong. Why is this not working? There we go. Now let's use the cursor. They swept down here. We sent out our military, who of course... Oh, thank you very much there for the follow. Much appreciated. Hendrik Zero. Thank you. Or Hendrico. I'm sure we'll get that right eventually. But the humans came sweeping down from... Let me use my mouse cursor here. I have to look at the preview monitor because they're for some reason offset from the game. My mouse cursor is currently here on my screen, but on your screen, obviously, it goes over here. Anyway, enough madness. Yeah, they came sweeping down this side bit here. We sent our military out. Of course, we've been focusing on twang kind of guys, the old Marks dwarves. And they were wholly inadequate to face the force that was coming at them. And so we had to use something that I haven't done for a while, the Cryptbeards Rush, which is my signature move, if you will. Essentially drafting every single dwarf in the fortress and sending them out in a mad rush to fight unarmed. And you know what? If you've got enough pop, if you've got enough people in your fort, that can be very effective. It can be an exceedingly effective way to go. Because, I mean, if we look at the population again, let's just quickly head back over to Old Therapist. 72 dwarves. We can't have lost more than 20 dwarves in that attack. And 10 of them were the military. So the dying kind of stopped when we just sent everybody out and sent the tiny fists flying. They didn't have a chance. They were just overwhelmed by numbers. Anyway, enough of this. Back out of Therapist. Let's not spend too much time in there. Come on. When we may be able to find the circus rando, I'm fairly confident we'll be able to dig down and find some adamantine given time. But seeing as the fortress can't get itself together to build this poxy bridge, I don't know what's going to happen with digging. Most of the people who have any kind of serious function in the fortress are currently stumbling around, clawing at their faces and getting very upset. So realistically, maybe we should treat this as some kind of, what's the word? A survey mission to try and figure out what's what and what's where. Because previously I was too timid to dig straight down and get a little bit more of a expansive fortress developed because I was scared of hitting caverns. Whereas now I've got a ballpark idea of where those caverns are, so I can kind of bypass them without really worrying. We'll see what happens. Let's unpause it for a second and see how the state of play is, because there are, no matter how slim, there is always a chance that things may continue, things may survive. Although that's a lot of, oh, hello, Oafsalot, you've dinged. Oafsalot Turamar, the peasant has created a banal, an applewood earring. He offers it to the ageless crypt of Belches. Well, that's very nice of you, Oafsalot. Let's take a look at your item and see what it's all about. The crevices of... No, that's the wrong one. Hang on, I think we need to go up. There we go. Cradle Tongue. Now there's a misinterpretable name. Certainly, if that was your nickname in prison, I think you're in for a bit of trouble. Let's press enter and have a look at it. Oh, Oafsalot, 147,000 trade credits. Very exciting. Let's take a little peek at the description. This is, I'm going to just say Anne because that's wrong. This is an applewood earring. All crafts dwarfship is of the highest quality. It is encrusted with square, brilliant-cut clear zircons, studded with bronze, and decorated with giant cave-toed leather. This object menaces with spikes of brown zircon. On the item is an image of Frosty Grizzles, the guile of shaming, the steel cabinet in applewood. On the item is an image of Stukos rained mirrors, the dwarf in sand pearwood. On the item is an image of a cushion-cut gem in cinnabar. On the item is an image of dwarves in clear zircon. The dwarves are labouring. The artwork relates to the foundation of Cryptbeards by the ageless crypt of Belches of the prestigious crafts in early spring of 1050. On the item is an image of Datan Cloistered Face, the dwarf in platinum, Oh, that's why it's so valuable. Datan Cloistered Face is withering away. The artwork relates to the passing of the dwarf Datan Cloistered Face in the Barbs of Exciting in the late summer of 1052, which is this year? It's last year. Oh dear, it's still fresh in everyone's minds. Although, having said that, because he withered away, I'm going to assume it was an old age thing, and therefore great. I mean, obviously dying of old age is not great, but it's better than a lot of the other options. And not one of the combat-related deaths in our fortress, which probably, I would guess, outnumber all other types. In fact, even I can't think of a single death that I'm aware of that wasn't done that way. So, it's probably great. It's probably fine. Well, the wood earring probably wouldn't be worth as much if it wasn't covered in jewels and platinum. That's pretty powerful stuff to put the price up. Oh yeah, the steel cabinet is one of ours. I think that's what it's all about. I think once you start getting some stuff going on in your own fortress, your engravings start to make more interesting stories of what's going on in it, rather than showing like world history, which is interesting enough in itself, but is it as exciting as something that happened in your own fortress? I don't think so. Let's resume the game and take a little peek at what's going on. Well, the miasma in the dining room is very thick and probably causing all manner of psychological issues among our dwarves, and therefore we probably want to get rid of it. Oh, hang on a minute, look, it's passing, and all I can infer from that is that the corpse that miasma is emanating from has dried up. Oh, no, someone stepped on it again, and off goes the cloud. Oh well. We've also got a ton of stuff that hasn't been pulled out of the trading depot because we haven't got anywhere to put it. We've got a lot of corpses lying around that haven't been buried yet, although I don't think that's an issue with the coffins. I think... Oh, hello. A human caravan has arrived. Oh, brilliant. Just what I was hoping for. Not. But we'll give them a chance to turn up. If we still have a trader, we'll trade with them and see what happens. Right, is anybody going to come up here and actually build this obsidian bridge? I mean, I know you have to wade through the corpses of your friends and families, and also some sundry attackers, but realistically, the bridge is the key to stopping this thing happening again. What we need to do is make sure everybody's inside the fortress, nice and safe and sound, and not having to worry about marauders on the surface. Because marauding marauders are usually a bad thing. Even if you're one of the marauding marauders, it's not a great lifestyle, I don't think. Probably quite difficult to sustain. Well, the broker's slipped into depression. Hopefully, he can see through that depression to trade with these humans. Otherwise, there's going to be problems. Okay, they've got 2 wagons. Is that it? Is that all the wagons? Disappointing, considering we've had like some fairly wagon-rific turn-ups before, but never mind. Right, let's request the trader and move some goods in. Presumably, we will have spiked wooden balls, because, as we all know, spiked wooden balls are for trade. Where's trap components? Am I being blind? Nope, they're on another page. Oh, only 1 bin. We may not have very much stuff to trade, but we'll see how it goes. We'll be able to see as soon as they move that bin in. It's going to come from somewhere in this room here. Oh, no, sorry, that room there. This offset mouse thing is very frustrating. You going to take that in, guys? Is anyone going to actually take the goods through so we can trade? It would be splendid if you did. Here it comes. Here it comes. One of the woodcutters, one of the carpenters has decided to move it in there. Maybe he will regale them with a rendition of one of the carpenter's many songs. That one about birds appearing, perhaps. Oh, I joke. I know he's not one of the actual carpenters. Probably our broker being depressed is going to cause trade issues, so maybe I'll change it to anyone can trade, just so we can see what we get. Someone gone in? No. Okay, I thought I saw someone walk in to trade, but apparently I'm just crazy. Oh, they're doing a parade of corpse carrying. Okay, that's fair enough, that's fair enough. Take the corpses through to get buried, that's fine. But, you know, don't forget to trade with these humans in the meantime. There we go. Anyone who's sitting here thinking, this is all a bit slapdash, don't worry. That's fine. We're coming to the end of this fortress. I'm only going through the motions at the moment and trying to see if there's anything, any kind of light of hope or salvation that will convince me to carry on. Like maybe they complete the obsidian bridge. but it's not looking great. Well, at least I've got 39 grand in this weapon bin, so we can probably buy everything they've got and more. Billion bars? I'm not interested in bars. We all know what I'm interested in. We all know that I really only have eyes for the musical instruments and the books. So let's see what they've got. Oh, hello. There's some instruments here. Well, we've seen the uki before. We're well aware of the uki. What's an ithru? Let's have a little look at the ithru. This is a well-crafted earthenware ithru. The drum is made from earthenware. The stand is made from galena. The head is made from goat leather. The ithru is a mid-sized stationary percussion instrument. It consists of an hourglass ceramic drum with a leather head which rests on a stone stand. The musician strikes the head. The instrument has a 1-octave range going from a mid-high to a high pitch. Tuning is accomplished by adjusting the tension of the head. The instrument has an evolving, strong, warm timbre. We've seen this one before. I'm not going to try and do the noise for this one. We've done it before. If anyone wants to find out what it sounds like, to me, then you'll have to go and dig through the content. The ite. Have we seen the ite before? Okay. This is an earthenware ite. The blowpipe is made from bronze. The wind chest is made from earthenware. The pipe is made from earthenware. The ite is a small handheld ceramic wind instrument consisting of a central wind chest and 8 cylindrical ceramic pipes fitted with 3 reeds. The musician selects the pitch by pressing keys to stop the holes. The instrument has a nearly 4-octave range, going from a middle to an extremely high pitch. At all pitches, the instrument has a thin, choppy, focused timbre. It has 2 registers. The low register has a vibrating, brittle, piercing timbre. So low, vibrating, brittle, and piercing. That sounds brittle, like my voice is going to go, but vibrating and piercing? No. I find it... The concept of a piercing low note feels difficult. How do I do a piercing low note that is both vibrating and brittle? And thin and choppy? It's a blowpipe, wind chest, 3 reed, so it's got some kind of... That's the choppy. Okay, that's doing my throat in a bit, so we'll stop trying that one. That's about the best I can do. The high register begins at a high pitch and has a strained, vibrating nasal timbre. Well, that should be easier. So it has a vague possibility of being what one sounds like, but maybe you can do better. Who knows? Feel free to attempt it. We've seen the uki. I think we've seen the godan as well. What is a grizzly bone godan like these days? Yeah, it's the drums that are played with mallets. Seen the uki. How about an ebdi? What's an ebdi? I don't think I've seen that before. This is a finely crafted copper ebdi. The blocks are made from copper. The stand is made from earthenware. The stick is made from earthenware. Excuse me. The ebdi is a huge stationary percussion instrument. It consists of 5 metal blocks attached to a ceramic stand. The musician strikes the blocks with a ceramic stick. The instrument has a 1-octave range going from a mid-low to a middle pitch. The instrument has a sweet timbre. Sweet. Yes, what a descriptive word. For flavour, but not for a musical instrument. How does a sweet block being struck with a ceramic stick sound? No, I'm having trouble. The percussion ones are always the hardest, to be honest. I mean... No, it doesn't sound sweet at all. It sounds positively worrying, to be honest. But we'll leave it. We'll leave it. Perhaps percussion is not my thing. Maybe I should stick with the reeds. There's another godan. And now it's some toy iron boats. Nothing very exciting in the cages. Normally I would buy out all their food and drink, but I am so confident that the fortress is going to go tits up that we'll leave it. And perhaps it will become a self-fulfilling prophecy. Not a profiterory, which is something to do with profiteroles. I'm sure. Bags, cloth bins, leather bins. Okay, we never really said we wanted loads of cloth and leather, but people always bring it. This is food, perch, prickleberries, capers, hemp thread, giant weasel leather quiver. Sure. A leather quiver is... Nope. Not going there. Let's have a look at what we've got here. Befor Tuds and Thumun. I think this is probably, if we zoom out a bit, Before Tides and the Moon. Let's take a little look and see what Before Tides and the Moon is all about. This is a giant grackle parchment scroll. The rollers are made from orpiment. Written on the item is a manual entitled Before Tides and the Moon, authored by Iru Rorsfilti. It concerns the relationship between the moon and tides. The writing indulges the author's every whim. Overall, the prose is splendid. Okay, well, we'll buy it, even though realistically it's not going to go anywhere other than on the floor. Do you know the animals? Do I know the animals? I don't know if I know the animals. This is a hemp scroll. It is made from hemp cloth. The thread is emerald with emerald dye. The rollers are made from hematite. Written on the item is a manual entitled Do You Know the Animals? Authored by Laura Hailed-Silky. It concerns the classification of creatures by their physical features. Rhyme. The writing uses only artful words and phrases selected with care. Overall, the prose is masterful. Very nice indeed. Let's have a little look back at chat quickly. I'm missing stuff. They do actually, a lot of the books do have a certain coherence to them, so I do wonder how the names are generated. I mean, they seem to have like some vague connection between what's going on in the title and what isn't. What's going on inside the book, but they're never perfectly aligned. Sometimes you just get really mental titles with really weird descriptions. Not always good. Anyway, let's get back out of here. Let's buy Do You Know the Animals, even though I'm fairly sure I've seen it. There's a copy of More Joy, which I believe may have been the name of the sequel to The Joy of Sex, right? Or am I crazy? A book full of pictures of hairy people getting jiggy. This is a well-crafted giant kangaroo parchment scroll. The rollers are made from brimstone. Lovely smell. This object menaces with spikes of well-crafted coyote bone and well-crafted cassiterite. Written on the item is an essay entitled More Joy, authored by Enur Beachdrims. It concerns the value of merriment. The writing uses only artful words and phrases selected with care. Overall, the prose is masterful. Very nice. Good to hear. I need to see The Bowel and the Human. Hello, I didn't see that one. Where's that? The Bowel and the Human. Oh yeah, just up here. Good call, I missed that one. The Bowel and the Human. I'm guessing it's going to be an exploration of poop, but we'll see. We'll see. There's a lot of text. This is a well-crafted vellum scroll. It is encircled with bands of table-cut clear tourmalines. The rollers are made from cassiterite. Written on the item is a biography entitled The Bowel and the Human, authored by Othral Raystugs. It concerns the human Estra Gulproud. Okay. This is unusual. Often a biography, I know it should be called an autobiography, but often any book about someone is usually written by that person. In this, not in the real world, that's crazy. Gulproud. The writing is throughout ornate and refined. Overall, the prose is passable. The work has 4 chapters. The first chapter covers a scuffle between the human Dang Weed Nightmares. Wow, what a name! And the human Estra Gulproud, in the early spring of 543, in which the former emerged victorious. The second chapter covers the human Estra Gulproud's attack on the human Bax Malign Curses. He can't beat fucking Dang Weed Nightmares. That guy has the best name ever in Dwarf Fortress. The third chapter covers the devouring of a beak dog of the walled seducer by the human Estra Gulproud in Sparkle Splash in the early spring of 567. So many incongruent things going on there. They're in somewhere called Sparkle Splash. A guy called Gulproud is devouring a beak dog. I mean, just imagine the circumstances. The fourth chapter covers the human Estra Gulproud's attack on the human Othral Raystugs. So, poor old Dang Weed Nightmares got attacked by Gulproud, but did save the day. I mean, I want to know more about Dang Weed Nightmares. Who is this guy? How did he get that name? Was it just something his parents called him? Beautiful. Truly beautiful. I mean, yes. 420 times, yes! Let's keep going down. We'll buy that book, of course. Good call, Parker. You noticed. You noted it. The guy who wrote the book was attacked by who he wrote about. He must have been really traumatized. I mean, he must have... I mean, imagine that. You get beaten up, and then you're like, oh god, I must catalogue this bastard's crimes. He was truly driven afterwards. Right, let's have a look. A Sylvite-bound codex. What is Sylvite even? This is a well-crafted Sylvite-bound codex. The written portion consists of a one-page manual entitled Exploring the Bellows, authored by Dopod Takeguard. It concerns the construction and use of double-acting piston bellows. Overall, the prose is passable. Yeah, very exciting, but I don't think we're going to peak quite as high as we peaked in the last one. That was a golden moment. This one, what are we called? This is a finely crafted Stibnite-bound codex. The written portion consists of a 109-page manual entitled Mineral Remedies, Before and After. Okay. Authored by Vinaya Beardpanted. It concerns mineral remedies. The writing drives forward relentlessly. Overall, the prose is amateurish at best. Sounds like one of those quack remedy books. You must only eat fruit because it will cure your cancer. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. That sounds like a fucking brilliant idea. Let's see if we can get several business figures. No, this is getting too far. I was about to make a very cruel joke at the expense of someone. I shouldn't do that. A cougar parchment sheet. These parchment sheets have nothing written on them. Let's not do it. Should we buy what we've bought? Just the books? They're worth $1,000 and a bit. I'm sure we can find enough spiked wooden balls to cover the cost. There we go. Spiked wooden balls. Trade. Bingo. Yeah, I'm sure. There we go. Trading done. Trader no longer required at the depot. And let's move... You know what? Let's just leave the balls in the depot. Let's just leave the balls in the depot where they're doing no harm. And basically, it means we don't have to move them back again. Which is good, right? It's good. Dang Weed Nightmares has to return in the next fortress. You're not wrong. We need to find out who that guy is. I mean, by the way, there is a if you've got a copy of the link to the zipped up files for this fortress, feel free to browse through the Legends mode and see if you can find out who Dang Weed Nightmares is. Because, I mean, frankly, I think we may have to have him as the figure of worship for the next fortress. I mean, what a name! Migrants! They clearly haven't heard the news. Let's let them on board and see what happens to them. Nothing good, I would warrant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that's the canonically best number. 8. Okay, they've broken it now. 9. Some of these are kids as well. Oh my god. 10. 11. Oh, crackers. Let's head back up to the top of the fort and just wait for them to turn up. Oh, a lie maker's throwing tantrum. Hopefully he doesn't have lie on him and isn't flinging it around like a crazed lie thrower, because that would be dangerous. Lie, as we all know from Fight Club, is terribly caustic. Is it caustic? It burns, if I remember rightly. Got a starving horse, a starving baby llama, a donkey foal, a goat kid, and a yak calf, all starving to death. But unfortunately, that's not really my top priority. I'm looking for an interesting out for this fortress. That's what I'm doing. Should we start going on the hunt for candy? I mean, this isn't getting built. Let's send out... Alright, here we go. It's time to hunt the candy. I know we've had bad luck before trying to breach into the circus, but I feel like this time might work. This could be the one. So let's designate a nice tunnel and get our boys digging. What's an episode of Cryptbeards without a little bit of digging? That's what I say. There we go. There's our downstairs. Oh, sorry. Can't go there. We've got to move across a bit. There we go. Not like that, scoundrel. Come on. Play the game properly, or not at all. There we go. Let's move over a bit. Is this outside the realm of the cavern? Yep. There we go. Pop that down there. Down, down. Oh, for fuck's sake. What? Bah! Bah! Let's cancel that and dig Up here. Go. Have a little stairway going down. There we go. Now we've made it past. Hooray, hurrah. Let's just go all the way down. Bingo. Deep as we can get. Oh, 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 maybe not. Okay, this clears straight past. Oh. How very intriguing. We're going straight past massive deposits of magma very deep down. Quite excited. This actually may connect up here. This little area around here might be just out of sight, but we'll see. Let's go back up to the surface, unpause this stuff, and hopefully follow our miners on their perilous trip to the deepest, darkest recesses of this planet's bowels. Fingers crossed. That's true. The only part about that had anything to do with the bowels in that book was the fact that they had the beak dog being eaten. Then again, I suppose all the characters have bowels, so maybe that's it. Or maybe there's just like a really cool scene that's not mentioned in the chapter synopses about something happening. I mean, that antagonist in the book did sound like the kind of guy who might well disembowel someone. He wasn't exactly what you would call a friendly sounding character. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the book has a twist ending. Maybe it turns out that he was actually a great guy and was only doing all those things because Dang Weed Nightmares is a dick. But we'll see. He doesn't sound like a dick. Dang Weed Nightmares sounds like a top 10 selling artist. Not that that stops you from being a dick, of course. Lots of very famous people have been terrible people also. In fact, many people are famous because they're terrible. Let's not go down that path. Come on, scoundrel, try harder. You're straying too frequently into the danger zone. Into the danger zone. Oh, I got a WhatsApp from Lieutenant Hopper. Thank you for that. Sorry I didn't read it sooner there. I should probably go back to Twitch on my phone, actually, and get that cheeky free viewer. That's nice, isn't it? Watching your own stream. It's 200 IQ shit, that's what it is. Ooh. Here we go. And we're back in. So, hello, Plutonium Jesus. Maybe he meant bowls? He could be. Of the human and the bowl. But he put that E in. He definitely had bowels on the brain at the very least. Okay, so we're digging down, we're going to find that sweet candy, and then we're going to decide what happens afterwards. An animal dissector's throwing a tantrum. Hopefully our miners will be able to keep it together long enough to get down here. Who have we got digging? Who's this brave soul? Hello? Can I have a game? Let me click. It's Fuzzy Logic. Oh, Fuzzy, the Herald of Doom. As ever, off he goes, getting ready to bring about the end of days. God. At the end, the ghoul guy mutilated the author. Did he mute him? I thought it was... Was he the last one? Orthal Race Trucks. Well, we've actually got the book in the fortress now, so we can actually look it up again just to make sure. Is somebody, if anyone's going through Legends looking for it, do keep me posted. I am keen to find out more about Dang Weed Nightmares. Oh, here we go. Look, something's happened. What was that? Suddenly, everyone in the fortress has decided that this corridor is the place to be. Why is that? Actually, I've had an idea. If you bear with me, I'll leave you guys watching this. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm going to go into Dwarf Therapist, and I'm going to make everybody a miner. Except, of course, somewhat ironically, the actual miners, with an O, in the fortress. Because, of course, I can't make them miners. That's not work, is it? There we go. Commit. Everybody is now down to mine. Maybe I should put in an order for some picks as well, though I feel like our blacksmith is probably not very happy with the state of affairs and probably not doing anything. Come on, come on, dwarves, dig down. Dig down, dig deep, dig hard. Deep as you can. Oh, they're doing pretty good. They're getting down there fast. They're not finishing every floor of the stairway before they go on to the next, but that's fine. That's fine. Some of them are getting depressed, it looks. Someone's too depressed to drink. I don't know if that's a benefit or not. Probably not to a dwarf. They do like their booze. Indeed need it. Whereas for a human being, it's probably okay if you're too depressed to drink. Drinking's not going to help. As I believe I mentioned before. great if you're happy. If you're miserable, don't drink. That's cray-cray. That's foolish. Here we go. We're getting down to the magma. We struck a cobaltite, apparently, and then we skipped back up to the top. What happened there? Given birth to a boy? What on earth makes you think I care about that? Good Lord. Keep your baby nonsense to yourselves. Here we go. We're going to get down. Nearly there. Here it comes. The bottom of the tunnel. Wow. Wow, we've gone straight past all the magma. This is pretty impressive. Although they've stopped digging. Ah! Okay, what's this they've stopped digging at? Looks like, is it magma? Semi-molten rock. Okay, alright then. That seems like a good reason to stop. If it's semi-molten, you can't really dig into it. Right, now, we're going to attempt to find some sweet, sweet candy. So let's get these holes dug and explore and see what happens. Hopefully it won't all be warm stone and they won't keep going, oh, do you really want me to dig this? Do you really want me to dig this? As dwarves can do occasionally. Right, let's stick that out there. Clowns beware indeed. I'm wondering if even one dwarf can be, even one clown can be taken down with the Cryptbeards rush. It seems optimistic to think so, because good old Cryptbeards. We've not got a good history with the entities of the circus. I mean, we've had a hard time even finding them before. In fact, a very hard time. Let's restart that. In fact, I'm going to put in a hotkey, I think. That makes sense. Let's make it hotkey 3. Z. We don't need to know. We don't have to name it. We know that hotkey 3 is this place now. F1, F3. There we go. From the surface down to the depths. We don't seem to have enough dwarves working on this. I mean, sure, we only have 3 picks that I'm aware of in the fortress. We could have bought loads from those guys, couldn't we? What an idiot. But surely they'll be willing to use their hands. I don't care about your babies. What do you keep making these babies for? This is a hopeless fortress. You should be all children of menning it. You should be going, oh, what's the point? Not that that's what happened in the Children of Men, I hasten to add. It seems like we've lost music. Oh dear, oh dear. Let's go back. There we go. Don't know what happened there. Okay, Macho's throwing a tantrum. To be expected, things are not great. 60 dwarves versus 1 clown. I don't know. I mean, maybe if we try to emulate Mr. Weed Nightmares, maybe we'll do it. Maybe we'll be able to. But unless we have that kind of pure, raw energy, that beautiful nomenclative power, I mean, I don't think we stand a chance. Then again, the chances of finding candy are not guaranteed. If anyone has any hints and tips, feel free. Feel free to help me find it. Because we are kind of trying to hold a gun to the temple of this fortress. Sadly, we seem to have severe Parkinson's and can't even aim at our own heads. Which is probably for the best, really. Probably for the best. But we've made up our mind. This is probably a bad thing to be talking about, isn't it? I should probably change the subject. I should probably not use such spicy, dense metaphors. Okay, we've hit some magma. Not great. Someone's cancelled reporting a crime due to emotional shock. That's nice. Come on. Diggy diggy. It's not paused. Why is it taking so long to take out that one lump of rock? What's it made of? Whatever it was super resilient. This stone here, though, this is granite, right? This is all granite? Gabbro. Okay. Not the stone I thought. But sure. Sure, why not? It seems like all the other dwarves have decided to give up. That's not good. Right, JMQ. Let's make picks. Pick. Okay. I want iron picks. Perpetual order. Let's use up all our iron making picks. And hopefully some of them will actually get made, unlike the obsidian bridge. He says without checking. Let's check the bridge. Of course it's not been made. Of course it hasn't been made. Why would they do that? It's been a priority job for several months. Nearly a year. Damn you, dwarves. Damn you and your lackadaisical attitude towards building. Sure, you want to dig. You're a dwarf. I get it. Your heart is all about digging stuff out of the ground, but sometimes you've got to build. And not in the slapdash way they did Moria. I want handrails. Something to stop people toppling down into the abyss. That would be nice. Something, something a little bit more health and safety compliant. That's my only gripe with Moria. Apart from the giant fire demon. That's obviously a bit of a downside. Why is it all down on Fuzzy to get this dug out? Surely somebody else should be trotting down and doing it. No? It does seem like the dwarves are all a little bit too cray-cray to dig. And in fact, let's go over to the therapist while this is being dug out. Let's go over to the old therapist and have a little look at people's mental states. If we read the dwarves, come up here, let's sort by happiness. Well, we do have some dwarves in the namies who aren't actually unhappy. Rando is the happiest. He's fine. Fuzzy Logic, also fine. Parker, Ocelot, Hakura Deity and Blind IRL, all fine. Although Blind is a baby, so realistically the scope of his concerns is somewhat narrow compared to the others. Let's keep going down here. Holy Moly is the first of the unhappy dwarves, and a party pooper is very unhappy, much like Macho. Broadly speaking, the fortress doesn't seem too bad. They're all fine down to there, and then break into unhappiness and very unhappiness down here. We have one fortress dwarf currently in a depression. That's Erdim, and one, what are you doing? Stark raving mad. Nish has gone stark raving mad. Well, okay. There's only 2 people currently tantruming. So we'll see how it ends up working out for us. Maybe we'll find candy, maybe we won't. But it seems like all of our dwarves have basically given up for now. I don't care about dehydrated peasants. Get on with the digging. Okay, back up to the surface. What's going on? The manager's throwing a tantrum. Somebody's actually taking a piece of obsidian over to the bridge. Oh. Will they build it, though? That's the thing. Scoundrel the Tyrant, I'm beyond tyranny here. This is malevolent godhood. Doesn't care about dehydrating peasants. I mean, we have already initiated Operation Candy Cracker. At this point, the fortress is sealed, in terms of fate, at least. I mean, obviously it's wide open in terms of actual security, but hey. Are any more of the miners going to actually go and do any mining? I mean, I did... Oh, Fuzzy's back down there. But he's been stymied. Unfortunately, it's all just magma. Do I come up a bit higher and try and... Let's try exploring above the magma sea. Okay, I'm going to go here, and then we're just going to ping it all the way down. Bang. A depressed miller. Just what we want. Deep, deep depression. Here we go. Let's see how this plays out. Will we actually get our miners down here, or will they all just give up the ghost and leave it? Who could say? God of Doom indeed. God of the old Doom metal there. Quite a nice genre. If anyone, I think I might have mentioned this recently actually, if anyone hasn't seen a YouTube channel called Stoned Meadow of Doom, not every piece of music on there is good, but a lot of it is. Well worth a look. Well worth a little goosey gander. We've got a stray yak crow. Oh, brilliant. Just what we wanted. A cow. A yak. Stop with the notifications, Dwarf Fortress. The only notification I want to see is, you have found candy. Time to crack it open and release the clowns. That's what I want to see. Oh, I can see magma crabs trotting around in there. They're not great. I mean, sure, we killed them pretty easily, but it's the fact that they spit magma that really sort of seals the deal on their danger. We've got an oblivious blacksmith stumbling around. At least the supply of plump helmets is really managing to meet demand. Although we are now growing them in miasma. Miasmal helmets. I know that when my plump helmet is producing miasma, it's a sure sign that I need a shower. I didn't pause that music. It decided to stop on its own. I was just lucky that it managed to emphasise my side eye. Dear. Fermented indeed. A party pooper, the jeweller, is throwing a tantrum. Oh, come on now. Get on with it. You keep jeweling. Not that there's any jeweling orders in at the moment. Maybe we should give him some work to do. Just get some gems cut. Then again, maybe we should just let him get on with his tantrum. And we'll deal with him in a little while. As we deal with everyone else. With clowns screaming through the fortress like a gang of Pennywises. The Stephen King character, not the band. I used to love Pennywise. Thought they're one of the greatest bands of all time. Haven't listened to them in quite some time. I could have been correct, but I don't remember. You did, Party Pooper, just in time for your dwarf to fling their tools down on the floor, for him to rip his jeweller's loop out of his eye, throw it on the floor and start stamping on it. It's good. It's good. Next fort, I must be a Master Gelder. Ah, what was the thing last time that it froze on? A petrified Gelder? I can't remember. But we had a frozen chat last time for anyone who didn't know, and it came up on screen, and petrified Geldage, that was the word. That might actually be a code message that freezes Twitch chat. If it stays on the bottom forever, we'll know that it is. Wow. The process of searching for candy, even at 75 frames a second, is very slow. I should check on Discord, you say? Alright, let's have a little peek on Discord, see what's going on in there. Let's have a little peek. Oh, hello. Oh, okay. Some whip combat from Macho. Oh, okay, I see. Let's have a quick look in here. What do we got? Maximize it. The lasher lashes the goblin hammer man in the left forearm with his silver whip, fracturing the bone through the cave spider's silk cloak. What was that? Oh, the weaponsmith has gone berserk. The one person in the fortress with the most access to weapons. Not great, but let me keep reading this combat report. Let me pick out the pertinent details. For chat, you understand. For chat. The lasher lashes the goblin hammerman in the right upper arm with his silver whip, jamming the bone through the right shoulder's muscle and fracturing the right shoulder's bone. The force bends the right shoulder, tearing the muscle and tearing the muscle. Twice. Our time in the eternal domain is so brief. This does not scare me. He seems like a very brave, stoic fellow, doesn't he? The lasher lashes the goblin in the abdomen with his silver whip, bruising the muscle and bruising the left kidney through the cave spider's silk cloak. It is a gelding blow! Ooh, I mean, this is a pretty impressive use of the whip. I mean, a whip is not the most precise of weapons at the best of time. But if you're good enough to whip someone in the elbow and have it drive the bone up through the shoulder, that's pretty impressive. But then to just take a little tinkle at their crotch with it and geld them, that's very impressive. Although the more I think about it, the more painful it sounds. I mean, I know that usually the technique is to constrict the testicles for gelding. And maybe that's how it happened. Maybe the silver whip went wrapped round and then whipped them off, which would be a relatively painless way. But I'm also imagining another possible manner, and bear with me, if you are squeamish, just cover your ears and I'll do this when I'm finished describing it, okay? But I was imagining 3, 2, 1, okay. I was imagining like just having like the tip of the whip come down across the sack and split it open, which would technically also be a gelding blow because the testicles would spill forth and the skin would remain. And then, why did I even describe that? That's horrible. I'm probably hemorrhaging viewers right now. Probably hemorrhaging testicles. Right, that's it. You can come back now if you're a bit squeamish. Is that better? Good. See, I'm considerate. I'm considerate to the needs of my viewers. I'm willing to give you a warning sometimes if it occurs to me. Let's head back up here. Let's have a look at the chat. You just need to be a lasher. Ooh, I mean, I wouldn't mind being one of those in adventure mode. It sounds like if you've got the skill, it's a pretty cool weapon. Getting a good fort is more about rapidly rotating through many not good forts until you find an RNG and skill allow to survive. That's true. RNG does have a little bit of a heavy hand on the scales of Dwarf Fortress. Sometimes it can be a bit much. Does this count as the pink zone? I'm not sure. I think it counts. I mean, just being about genitals does not necessarily make something about the pink zone, because the pink zone is sexy, and genitals aren't intrinsically sexy. They are sexual and have sexual functions, but they're not necessarily sexy. I mean, in isolation, looking at them, they're not particularly sort of, you know, ooh la la and stuff and such. I mean, certainly they do have an effect. I'm not saying they don't, but there are other more sexy things, and that's where the pink place is. I would say it's more of the dark place. More of the dark place, I would say. And possibly is slightly closer to the brown place. I mean, it's on the line between the dark place and the brown place, because anything comes out of the human body, you're heading towards the brown place. This is going to confuse new viewers. People scratching their heads going, what in the fuck is he talking about? Someone could interpret it as sexy because it's a whip. I suppose so. I suppose so. There are a lot of gelding videos on YouTube. There's a lot of instructionals, because it's kind of thing like animal farmers need to know how to do, or, you know, even just people who are doing a travelogue and come across nomadic peoples and want to see what happens in herd life. Herd life! Anyway, enough of this nonsense. Let's